What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonef71, aka Digadulamite.
Konnichiwa.
Oh, Lord.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 260 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And as usual, I am not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, it's Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res. I'm going to call you the lover this episode.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
a.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, not much. Just happy to be back from the land of the rising sun. I had a fantastic time in Japan, as always, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But yes, back, happy to be back, happy to be playing games, and yeah, I'm just going to kick this off real quick. So for the summer backlog blowout, we do have a winner, and that winner is Kevin Shonuff. 71. So yes, he whooped both of our butts by beating three games over the summer, while your boys Dez and Joe the Jabroni Tree beat a big old goose egg. We beat 0 games. We beat 0 games.
I was making the push towards the end, but preparing for this trip, so.
Yeah. We'll blame it on the trip. So
yeah, we had the entire summer to plan for the trip. Yeah.
But yeah, it was yeah. So in any case, congratulations. We will be posting pictures of the food ceremony, the dinner ceremony, in which Kev will be getting a free dinner from the two of us, as well as free dessert. So, to the victors go the spoils, Kev.
Yep.
Your heart was in it. Your heart was in it.
That buffet bar at the Sizzler. Yeah, you got dessert.
All of the scrimps, and Malibu chicken you can muster.
Scrimps, yes, soft serve,
soft serve, all that preservative filled food.
Yeah. So,
I'll get a Stouffer's if that's.
Yeah, if that's just take me to Vaughn's and buy me a Stouffer's. We'll be square. Thanks, guys.
There you go, banquet TV dinner. That's right. Salisbury steak.
That's why, because we care. So, in any case, yeah, that's it.
No. You'll be good in the neighborhood. No Applebee's either. But
no Applebee's. I don't think Applebee's is even here anymore. But of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm just back and taking care of stuff once I got back home. So just AC outlet update. My AC outlet's been fixed, so I don't have to worry about my PlayStation going on a blink or anything like that. So I got fixed today. I've been in go mode since I got back. I haven't really been resting. I've been getting my car serviced and doing some stuff and trying to do a tour over here. So that's what I've been up to since I got back. So. I need to take a little siesta before going back to work, but we'll see.
The siesta before the return to work, yeah. The siesta after the siesta.
Yeah.
But all right, folks. So this is not going to be your typical episode. So there's not going to be a playlist. No, some of the typical things, main events, some of the things that we usually do, because 2/3 of this show's hosts returned to Japan to attend the Tokyo Game Show 2024. So that's going to be the focus of this episode. But before I get into that, I'm going to kick things off with this question. if you're in the Discord, and hopefully our listeners will join our Discord, it's a great place to be, great place to hang out, talk about games. But I gotta ask you, okay, what is up with those two terrifying life-size looking, I don't know, humanoids that y'all had to check in at the hotel?
Oh,
what? Because when I saw that, the only thing that came to mind was terrifying, because that's what
oh yeah,
that's what I wrote.
yeah.
Before you guys go into the Tokyo game, I need to know how Skynet has now taken over the check-in business for hotels. So please elucidate. If I got questions.
Skynet. So basically, we stayed at a place called Naana, I think is what it's called, hotel, and it translates to weird hotel. And it is a supposedly fully automated hotel. So the check-in staff were robots, and they spoke to you. Their eyes moved, their heads moved, their eyes followed you while you walked around the room.
Oh hell no.
And they bowed to you. And if you've seen the photos on the Discord, they're dressed in Halloween gear. So they had little party hats on and a cape like a Dracula, and they had like white suits, and they actually have hands. Their hands are their arms and hands, and their hands are seated in their laps. And their mouths kind of move, and it was bizarre, to say the least. It was pretty wonky. And
we didn't take a photo because they had a little display of all these little dolls too in a glass case, like if they were like Gashpon or something, but they're all are animated basically, and they're all making noise too. So.
Yeah, it was a lot. Like, I was like, huh. I'm looking at Joe, and Joe's just kind of like, okay, and I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to, deal with them because it's like them, and then they have like a little like digital screen in front of them, and then they have like
kiosk,
another kiosk. They have another kiosk on the side. And I'm trying to check in, and I think what happened was, like, I put in something wrong, and I had to another. It was hilarious. So I needed to talk to an actual person, and so this like Japanese woman comes out from behind, and she's like, eh? So like she helped me with one thing, and then she immediately disappeared. She's like, nope. She's like, you deal with them, and I'm like, okay, and so we finally got checked in and everything. But yeah, there were these, humanoid looking young robots, Japanese robots, one male, one female, and they just
spoke
had
English, which is crazy. So.
Yeah, they spoke English, they spoke Japanese. I think they spoke most of the major languages. You just had to basically select the language you wanted them to like respond in and stuff. So, but yeah, it was pretty bizarre, especially after like a 12.5 hour, flight plus, another hour train ride to get in. And then we get to the place. It was really nicely located. Like, it was one stop off of Akihabara, and in this hood that Joe called it. We're in a hood, and I'm like, Joe's
neighborhood.
So, yeah, it's a little neighborhood. But it was actually the hotel was really nice, and it was just really like the bathroom and the shower was fantastic. The shower itself was great because it was like a onsen, and an onsen is like you can go in and it's like a bath, like the whole room. So you had like the toilet with the bidet, and across from it was the sink, and then next to it was a door that led into the shower room. It was a room, like it was an awesome room that had a tub in it and like a floor, and you literally could just sit on the side of the tub. You could get in the tub. They had a chair, they had a bowl, and the shower, like it was like one of the it was so nice. It was so nice. I just loved the shower, and the pressure was great, just fantastic. However, the beds themselves, they were like rocks. So
hot as a rock.
Yeah, it was not it was not the goods. Like the beds were, they were rough.
I got used to them after a day.
Yeah.
But that first day
still,
was just like,
they were rough. Oof. But yes, those were the robots in the quote unquote weird hotel. So it was.
Well, at least they let you select the language for when the robots would wake you up in the morning, choking you to death. You know.
Well, I mean, I locked myself in the room, so hopefully that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's some good amenities. I mean, they had a thing where you could like actually, if you were arriving, put your luggage in on a lock basically and walk out and do your thing on there. Same thing if you were like checking out, and if your flight or if you happen to be jumping around town, you can basically lock your luggage there at the hotel. It's all automated basically, so the lack of staff there. So
okay, all right, well. That's. I'm sorry. I ain't having no robots eyeballing me as I'm moving around. No.
Yeah, it looked around too. They were like, "Hey," and you're like, "Hello?"
No, no,
How you doing?
sir, no, ma'am, no. But hey, Freaky Hotels wasn't the reason for your trip. You were there to check out the Tokyo Game Show for 2024. So let's just keep it freeform. Just what do you have to share about your experiences there?
Yeah, I'll let Joe go first for this one because I believe this was a lifelong dream for Joe. So, and he was the one that, approached me and was like, "Hey," because y'all know we went to Japan earlier in the year, and that was for my graduation from like college, from like my master's program. And so when Joe asked me, "Hey, let's go for Tokyo Game Show," I was like, "Huh?" And then I said, "Yeah, let's do it. I still got some Tokyo in me that I want to go. Let's go." So I'll let Joe go ahead. Joe, I'll let you start.
I mean, the whole thing started because after we left Japan the first time, it was a point that I was thinking, okay, we're normally, towards the end of August, we usually go to PAX, and PAX has been kind of our mainstay for the last few years as far as, convention that both me and Des go to. I mean, we talked about it numerous times on this show. And I got to looking at the flight prices and looking at the wherewithal, the logistics of it, and would I prefer to go to PAX or TGS? It's like, okay, I've never been to TGS, so would love to go back to Japan. And so it was just the point that, it was feasible in my mind to be able to go. And so pretty much we planned it. I bought tickets for Saturday and Sunday and kind of went from there. But logistically, what happened afterwards is that I started poking around and looking into, because we've been doing this podcast since 2017, and I was looking to see, maybe we could go as press possibly, and cover the show and do it as for the podcast, because we were just going to go on the public days on Saturday and Sunday, just like everyone else. And lo and behold, we, after paying 12,000 yen for 2 tickets each for Saturday, Sunday, that's like 6,000 yen each for me and Des, and that comes out to be maybe about 40, 45 bucks a piece, basically, that, we were able to go in as press on Thursday and Friday. And so, we could have went as press on Saturday and Sunday as well. So, logistically, I would have probably planned the trip maybe a little bit different, maybe arrive maybe one day earlier just to get settled in, because we flew in on Tuesday, but because of the time difference, we basically arrived on Wednesday afternoon on there. Our flight in was pretty decent, I think. We were, obviously flying, coach or whatever you would call it. Economy, there you go. But me and Des wound up getting an entire row to ourselves for some reason, going to, and so that just helped out greatly. I think our flight itself was okay. I think we had a good time. I've actually paid for internet because while in the air, the state of play was being broadcast, and so I couldn't go without getting my gaming news up in the air, I think it would have made it like the greatest, flight ever. But basically what happened is that even though I paid like a decent amount, like $20 for internet, it didn't really support any sort of like live video at all. So, but I wound up getting updates following like X on there to be able to get the updates for state of play. I was even like showing my phone over to Des every so often, just certain announcements, so on and so forth. On there, was able to listen to a baseball game pretty much no problem while I was up in the air. So the flight actually was okay. What's your experience with the flight going to, Des?
Oh, I thought the flight was great. That flight was, I don't know. For me, it really kind of came down to me just being able to really stretch out. It's funny. I don't the flights, and maybe it's just because I've been to Comic-Con a couple of times, and I've driven, because like if you're from California, you could drive, for like damn near 12 hours and still be in the city and still be in the country. So or still be in the state.
Same state. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I just equate like driving to like San Diego or something. So for me, the flight was never really that big of a deal. And the food that they serve is okay. No, it's not terrible, but I just pack up a ton of things to watch on either YouTube or I started watching Justice League Unlimited and some other stuff. So I had my time set, and I don't really sleep on the planes, which is fine, because how I kind of get rid of or get over the jet lag is I like say the whole, because like when you fly there, you're flying into the sun, so it's always light, so there's never any darkness when you're flying. So people will close they close the windows, and they shut down the lights to simulate, but I don't ever fall asleep. I fell asleep on the way back, but that was because it was like later Japan time. But that's all. We'll talk about that when we come back, a little later. But the flight over there was great. Had it been a full row, I think it would have been a little bit crappier. But that trip going down there, yeah, it was like butter. I was great. I was like, all right, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah. After we got there, customs was quicker than the last time we went. So I was dreading, because I think last time when we came in March, it was like almost 2 hours in customs, and so customs wasn't that bad this time on there. Obviously by the time we got over there, it was like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning Pacific time on there, but it was dang near like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day in Tokyo. And so and then we managed to be able to, from there, we knew where to go get the ATM and go get our cash. And because, everything was still fresh from the last time we were at Narita. So, it's pretty much, we kind of knew the lay of the land. We knew where to go. We did, for a minute, just try to figure out what train to get on. We got on our train, got our reserved seating. I know last time we, Des pre-booked train tickets for us to take a train ride from Narita to Tokyo, and we wound up not getting to our train in time, but we were able to purchase the tickets and get on our way, get into the hotel and get settled in. Then from there, looking for the closest konbini, finding some place to eat and kind of go from there. Afterwards, then we pretty much just kind of mapped out, the expo hall for TGS and kind of went on our way. Our travels, because the way I planned it, I wanted to stay near like a base like in Akihabara, and so basically, us taking the trek out to TGS was a little bit of a haul. It was almost like a 45-minute to an hour train ride with multiple stops on there. So I don't know if you could kind of talk to as far as the travel to and fro from the TGS itself, Des, but another thing that we were kind of faced as soon as we got off the plane and onto the streets of Tokyo is the humidity and the weather itself. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit too, Des.
So okay, the weather was humid. It was tropical humid. So yeah, it was pretty rough. So but it got better as the trip went on. It got better, but it was like moist rain, and that first day was okay. It wasn't super crazy, but that the Saturday we were there was the worst.
Friday.
Sorry, Friday. Yeah, the Friday. Sorry, was no. Yeah, Friday was bad because Friday was the day that it actually rained, and like I brought a jacket because I'm thinking, okay, a jacket. I mean, rain. No, it was humid, so you couldn't wear a jacket. So there was people that were like had shorts on and they had their umbrellas because it was still humid. So like I had a jacket on, but I was like dying. I was like a baked potato. I was like, I can't do this. So it was bad. Like it was. So that was the one thing was like was that. But once we got into the hall, it was okay. And then there was later on we were out in Akihabara and it was sweltering, and you'd have these sort of like cloud bursts that would happen, and it would be it would rain for a little bit and then it would stop, and it would rain a little bit more and then it would stop. So if you're used to that sort of like Atlanta kind of hot sticky rain, then you definitely would have known what was going on. Like it felt like that. But I was just very happy that while we were in the hall itself, it was the halls. There's three of them technically. It was great. It was fine. But yeah, the weather, while crazy, got better as the trip went on. So yeah, but not bad.
Okay. Well, I think you guys did you guys want to were you attempting to get some interviews with some people while you were there, or how did that pan out?
So I'll let Joe start because Joe was the one that set these up. But it was very interesting.
Yeah, it's just, there was definitely a language barrier, I think. We had 2 appointments all together. We could have pushed for more. I just wanted to get a lay of the land on there to be able to.
Google Translate didn't help?
No, it did.
Oh, okay.
It did. Yeah. The first game that we had an appointment for was for Phantom Blade Zero, which was pretty much that prominent like samurai action game, one of many coming out, but it was
screaming. It was screaming show enough though. It was like screaming your name, sir. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't really get to interview anyone that particular time. It was a point that they were just like, oh, okay. It was like more like we didn't have to wait in line to play the demo, and we got like carte blanche to get to a kiosk eventually. Because at some point we didn't know who to talk to. We didn't have a name, and so it was just like just knowing who to talk to. They pretty much took me right away to a kiosk. Des watched me play the game, and pretty much, got the little demo, got the little showcase. It's not like we got to go in the back and talk to the game developer or anything like that on that. So, and then there was a second game called Etheria Restart that is a mobile game that kind of looked interesting. I kind of felt like it had some Genshin Impact vibes a little bit. So that was on the second day that we attended, and pretty much we missed that appointment because we originally had 11 a.m. appointment, but we were back at the hotel. Because
I got a quick question on Phantom Blade Zero. Since Joe, you played it.
Yeah, I played
or did you both get a chance to play it?
No. I watched Joe play it.
Okay, so initially in the first demo that I saw, it was like very like Kung Fu Theater, quick blade attacks, dodging quickly, all that other stuff, kind of simulating what you would see on, Kung Fu Theater Saturday afternoon. How does it play that way? And if so, how do they go about simulating those quick movements, those quick attacks, because I know for a fact that they're not expecting you to tap the square button that quickly. And so there's got to be some type of play mechanic involved. So if you could like maybe elaborate a little bit on that, or was that an element that you did not experience in the demo?
I don't think I experienced that. I mean, I think there was a parry of some sort on there, but obviously, it was a point that it kind of felt like to me like playing any sort of third player camera action ninja title on there. And, I think you would probably be the one to kind of, know from your experience of playing like Ninja Gaiden and other titles as far as how well, what nuances there were. To me, it seemed like any other like, Ninja Gaiden or Onimusha type of a ninja action game of some sort. So
did you find it difficult or?
I was actually, I think I got defeated by the boss a couple times. There was a second boss. There's other bosses in the demo I could have played, but I had my fill, and we pretty much left the kiosk at that point. So okay. I could have played a little bit more, but I think at that time I wanted to make sure that we had additional time to go here, there, everywhere. I enjoyed what I played though, for sure. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really looked like you did. One thing though is interesting. So at the Tokyo Game Show, they had a ton. Like every booth pretty much had something for your trouble. By that I mean, when you went there, they had extra. Like you got something, whether it was a fan, which was great. Like I got so many fans, it was amazing. Check your mail, Christian. I got tons of fans. I got tons of like keychains and trinkets and all kinds of stuff that they were giving. And one of the things that they would do is they would be like, well, how many bosses did you beat in the demo? And if you beat like all the bosses, you would get like super the greatest gift for playing. And like if you beat one, okay, you get something like maybe like a pin or a sticker. And then like, but if you beat all of them, they would give you this like super the greatest kind of stuff. So it was pretty funny. I was like, okay, so it's like it's like a PAX, but the incentive, like they really incentivize you to play stuff. It's crazy. It was crazy. But the second one we played. Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Etheria Restart was the other appointment that we had, and of course the PR guy from One Up PR reached out to us and asked, because we did miss the appointment, and we rescheduled it for later on in the day on here. This particular game, though, it's a 1v1, or like there's like some PvP elements to it. I know Des played the demo of the game, but it's only out in Taiwan right now. I think it's coming out to the West in like 2026.
Yeah.
On there. So, but from the art looked pretty nice, and it's kind of crazy that they're still reaching out to PR and try to get people to look at this title, because it's like it's only out in the Asian territories. What did you think about the whole demo? I know you're playing off PC, right, Des?
Yeah, I was playing on the PC, and it plays like any other MMO. I think the Honkai Star Rail, not the Honkai, the Genshin Impact kind of that MiHoYo look and feel. That is what a lot of the Japanese or the Asian MMOs, Chinese, that's what they are. Like that's what it looks like. If you've played Genshin, you've played this game. If you've played Honkai Star Rail, you played this game. So in that aspect, it feels very familiar. It's just the art style is different. And in this one, it's all about you computer programs, and you kind of like dive in. It's sort of like Sword Art Online. You kind of like dive into a world, and you go through various different stuff, as all I can say, in order to kind of like help out your allies and stuff. So but it's definitely not bad. It wasn't a bad game. The effects looked fantastic. That's again another thing. Like all these effects look great because it's a specific style that they're using. So and that animation style, it's there. Like in their when they do their it's a lot more like Honkai Star Rail in that it's a turn-based action RPG. Sorry, it's a turn-based RPG. So you run around and then you run into people and then you basically set your team. But the cool thing about it is you're not every time you go into a battle, you can select who you want. So you're never trapped into like the four people that you always have to have. Like during every battle you can switch it out, which is kind of cool because you can arrange who you want to fight against if they have various different weaknesses and stuff like that. You can do that. And even though it was in Chinese, it was fine. Like you could definitely understand what was going on, and the woman who I was talking to and working with, she spoke English, and so we were chatting about it and whatnot. So again, if you've played any other, Hong Kong Style Rail type of game or Genshin Impact, then you've pretty much played this game. And that's not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just another flavor of ice cream, So you can definitely try this if you want, or move on to something else if you want. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of that. But yeah, that was pretty much all that. Those were pretty much the two people that we actually met and spoke to, and the guy was Gary. This is part of like One Up Productions. He's a really kind of fun little guy, or fun guy to talk to. It's just he had been doing this stuff for a very long time. So he was like happy to chat with us, and he was one of the ones that kind of warned us about the pitfalls and the craziness of the public days, which we'll be getting to a little bit later. But yeah, but some of the other games that we were able to play, I'm just gonna go through a little bit of just a few ones. I was able to play Mecha Break.
How was that?
So,
because I've been very curious about that game.
So Mecha Break was great. It was a fun game. It's a fun mech game that you can update your mech. It really looks like someone said, "Hey, remember Gundam? Oh yeah, let's do something like that." Okay, and then they did it. And that's pretty much what it is. Like if you played a Gundam game, you've played this game before. The difference is it's a 5v5 battle game. And that was the thing that kind of took me out of it, was I thought it was more focused on PvE, and I think there are PvE missions, but for what we played was 5v5 mech battles. And while it was okay, that's not who I am when playing these games. So for me, it was kind of lost on me, unfortunately. So
Yeah,
so while
I didn't play it
enjoy-
myself,
Yeah.
but one thing I know, Des, you were playing with mouse and keyboard on Mecha Break, right?
Yeah, and I don't like mouse and keyboard, but yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. I know some people are able to do that, but me, not so much. So, but other than that, what else did I play? I played a couple of indies by a Middle Eastern company called Red Dunes, and they're doing the Black Jet Finger, which was by
Blackfinger
the
Jet.
Blackfinger Jet, which is by the guys who do by the guys that did Metal Slug, and unfortunately they didn't have it there to play, but the game looks fantastic. And I got to play a couple of other games from them. One was it's called like Princess and the Lily Pads or something, and you play as a cat and you're
Princess
trying.
of the Water Lilies.
Thank you, Princess of the Water Lilies, and you're trying to run through to you're this cat and you're trying to give these eggs back to these frogs, and you're this grumpy looking cat and you can purr and stuff. It was silly. That's why I had to play it. It was silly. So that was the one that kind of like stuck out to me, you know. But again, I spoke to the guy, the main guy, and his focus is the like Nintendo all the way up to like PlayStation 1, and they showcase games of that era and they want to build games and publish games from that era. So it was a cool little time to spend with them and hang out. Got to hang out with the Kimco people who put out a couple other the Kimco games, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. One thing that was really kind of interesting is on the show floor. So there were three different big warehouse type, convention halls, and there was 1 through 4, and then 4 through 8, and then off to the side and towards the front was 9 through 11, and they were huge, where hangars, like airplane hangars type of thing, and they could split they could split each of the 4 into smaller halls, so it was huge. The whole place was huge, right? And they only had demos, and what you could get for the demos, and the places where you could buy stuff was in one specific hall, and that was Hall 11. And in Hall 11, you had to go to that hall to buy stuff. And when you bought stuff, they didn't have any video games. Like, you couldn't buy any video games at this thing. They had all kinds of other stuff, but you could not buy video games. So that was really interesting. They had Yakuza pillows that you could cuddle with. They had shirts. They had pins and all this other stuff, but no actual games that you could buy. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So, and then the last game that I'm going to mention, although I played some other ones, Joe's list is a little bit more rounded out than mine. But we played Fatal Fury, the new Fatal Fury. We played it.
Tell me.
Joe versus me. We played it. And I have to tell you, that game, day one gets for me.
Really?
Oh yeah. Everything about that game was just fire. It was great. I really, really enjoyed it, Kev. Like the Rev. It's called Rev. Like, I think the
I know that, yeah, the rev it up, that's kind of like the catch line for the new system.
Rev it up, release your fury or something like that. It's because they have a rev up. The whole thing is about revving up. So as you fight, you rev up your engine, and there's like an actual engine in the bottom right hand corner, and it revs up, and you that's how you get your levels of like power and stuff. And just the way that you fought, it felt like that classic combo system where you would take turns with each other and you could do your blocks. They had cancels. It just felt good. It felt classic but modern at the same time, and it looked great. And it just like, you only got to play, I think it was 5 characters, but like, it was great. Like, the new Mai was great. Mai has some of Andy's moves now, because Andy's not in it, so Mai has sort of Andy's moves, and the specials were great. I was just super excited for the game. Day one get, I did beat Joe most of the games. I think we played 5 games. They only give you 20 minutes to play the demo, and I think we played 5 games, and I won 4 out of the 5 games. But it was good. Like, it was great. I got to try every character.
My controller was faulty, so
There you go.
There's some key input errors or something. So
yeah. Definitely human key input errors. Yes.
Definitely controller related. So
yeah.
I didn't want to complain to the booth because obviously the language barrier and whatnot. So
yeah, totally understand it. And it was hilarious though, because there was this English guy, this white guy, but he totally had the haircut from Dudley. He had the haircut from Dudley from Street Fighter, and I was like, oh my god, it's Dudley playing, Fatal Fury.
Well, they did announce Ken and Chun-Li for the Fatal Fury game.
Yup.
So we can hope that may be the only way I get my Dudley. Speaking of that, I know they released Terry in Street Fighter 6. I don't know if you guys. I think Capcom had a booth up there.
We did not play it.
Okay, but does the fact of Terry being in the game, does that kind of spark an interest in Street Fighter?
No.
For either of you two?
Nope, not at all.
I want to play Street Fighter 6. I mean, if you're willing to play or start playing, Kev, I'm willing to play. So
none for that. That's a no for me. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah. Terry almost has me wanting to go back to Street Fighter 6, almost. But
wait.
I need Dudley. I need Dudley back in the game.
Wait.
But anyway,
seriously, just wait. Just wait for Street Fighter. Buy it day one. You will not be disappointed.
Wait for Street Fighter?
Sorry, wait for Fatal Fury. Sorry, buy it day one.
Oh yeah, well I'm team Fatal Fury over Street Fighter all day, every day. That is very much. That's just where I jumped into fighting games. I mean, of course I started with Street Fighter 2, but when Fatal Fury came out, particularly Fatal Fury 2, that's when I was like, I think I like this better than that. So
you definitely will. You definitely it just felt good. It felt good. The gameplay felt good.
No shade on Street Fighter, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
It's an awesome series.
But it just you're gonna look at this game and you're gonna see it and you're gonna be like, wow, this is awesome. It really is. That was my sort of like, damn, like I need to start playing again.
Was it your game of the show?
Was it my game of the show? Yeah, it was. It's so good. It's like so good. So, but I spoke a lot. I'm gonna give it over to Joe. Joe, what are some of the games you played, buddy?
Well, on the first day, we pretty much were roaming around, and Des didn't want to go into this demo because it's a quote-unquote horror game. Oh, my God. But it's this game called Redeemer from THQ on here. It's being developed by the developers of Little Nightmares 1 and 2 on here. And I went in, and I didn't know. I forgot the name of the game. I thought
it was called Reanimal.
It's called Redeemer, I think. So it might be Reanimal.
Yeah, I think it's called Reanimal.
Yep, you are correct, sir. Yeah, Reanimal. So Redeemer. God. Yeah, Reanimal. So this is a co-op adventure game, basically. THQ Nordic's bringing it out. But it's almost like playing a Little Nightmares game in a way, but it's like almost in a 2D, 3D kind of elements, and there was some puzzles to do. Obviously, if Des went in there with me, we would have been able to do them together, but I was able to obviously control the character, and I felt like the graphics and everything that I saw was like, from the animals I saw were kind of scary, but at the same time, not like, like I'm shitting my pants or anything type of thing. I just felt like it was kind of a creepy platformer with some puzzle elements if need be. And I kind of enjoyed what I played on there. So
is that the one where everybody's giant And you're kind of
Yeah.
small, and you're small, okay, or
Yeah.
maybe regular human size, and just everybody's just a titan,
Yeah,
almost.
pretty much.
Okay.
There's like this gigantic pig on the level and some other like creatures I was running away from and stuff like that. So it's like basically just kind of, almost like it was Little Nightmares 3, but it basically just renamed because the developers of Little Nightmares 1 and 2, Bandai Namco basically went to another development team to develop Little Nightmares 3. So they went ahead and decided, okay, we still want to iterate on this formula a little bit. So they went to THQ, and there you go. So felt like it was good times. I also me and Des played Titan Quest 2. We love our action RPGs. We had to deal with mouse and keyboard on that one.
Fantastic
on there, but
game.
yeah, it looked good on there. So even though we're using mouse and keyboard, it pretty much had the same kind of beads as the original Titan Quest and all the expansions on there. So I'm definitely looking forward to giving that a whirl. We played a platformer from THQ Nordic called The Eternal Life of Goldman on here, and you played this like old man with a cane, and he had some various abilities and whatnot, but the art style is really nice. It was like a two-dimensional with very good art style as far as hand-drawn pixel art on there, and I kind of felt it was something different for sure. I know, Des, you played this a little bit as well. I kind of felt it was charming, so.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed the fact that you could change his cane to do different types of stuff, and you don't really see, geriatrics, running around, hopping on their cane, kicking butt. So I was like, okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Also, we went to the Tecmo Koei booth. I think this was on the second day, but pretty much we were mainly like branched out in a couple of halls, and then I went ahead and waited in line to play Dynasty Warriors Origins on here.
How was
I know
that?
that was really good actually. So went back to that Muso comfort food on there, even though it's a quote unquote reboot of the series. I kind of felt like, you're playing your own protagonist in this particular title. You're able to create your character if need be, but obviously it didn't afford me the ability to go into the character creation mode. It got right into one of the first battles in the game, and so I was playing on a PlayStation 5 in this particular demo, and I felt like, hey, this is like kind of, that old Muso feeling, but kind of amplified to current gen abilities on here. So it's definitely, there's some evolution, at least a little bit of it. I think at the end, I was challenging Lu Bu to a one-on-one battle on there. My time was running out on the actual demo itself, but in typical grab on a horse, going and wailing, doing your specials, typical Muso business on there. I know that the meat buns were where you could actually have more meat buns in your inventory to, give yourself health if need be on there. I know with all the other Dynasty Warriors games, if you happen to be full health and happen to run by a meat bunch, like the whole Belt Fighter Streets of Rage type of thing, where it doesn't matter, but this one you were able actually to retain multiple meat buns in your inventory. So boy, on there. So, but I felt that's the Dynasty Warriors Origins is going to be a day one for me. So I think it's coming
Nice.
out based on the state of play in January. So I also played Fairy Tale 2. So me and Des played this, and so I'm a little bit familiar with the franchise on there, as far as the manga anime on there, but I was kind of surprised by this game. I felt that the art was good. Gust, the developer, pretty much, I felt like the turn-based RPG was pretty decent on there. So I don't know how you felt about it, Des. I felt like I was playing off a PC. I know you were playing off Switch, I think, right?
Yeah, it was. Excuse me. And the Switch version was just not very good. So maybe it'll be better on Switch 2, but definitely check it out on PlayStation 5 if you're gonna check it out. I thought it was fun. Like I really enjoyed what I played. It's it's weird because it's turn based, but they all act at the same time, so it's a sort of like active turn based battle system. And I really enjoyed what I was playing, and the story seemed fun. So yeah, this might actually be. I might actually pick up Fairy Tail 1 just to kind of see how it plays, because I can't imagine it's too far of a what is it? Too far of a jump from the first one, you know. So, but yeah.
I know Desi also played Phantom Brave at the Atlas booth, right? Oh no,
Yeah,
not the
but
Atlas booth. It was at the Sega booth
yeah.
for NIS America. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say much about that game. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was in Japanese only, and it took me a little bit of time to kind of realize what I was doing. So, but yeah, I really don't have much to say about that game. So,
Got it. I also played this game called Earthian. This is a new game from Yuzo Koshiro. He is the longtime developer of, the music composer that did the music for Streets of Rage 2 and 3. He also created games like Beyond Oasis and Legend of Oasis on the Genesis and the Saturn on here. So he decided, I think a few years ago, that they wanted to go and create a new shmup, basically a new shooter, and they decided to go ahead and develop it for the Mega Drive, for the Sega Genesis, basically on here. And so they had it displayed in a booth at the show, actually running off an old CRT monitor, running on original Genesis hardware. And so I happened to play that, and it's like I went back in time and was playing like maybe a sequel to Thunder Force, and I guess Thunder Force reminded me a little bit of Thunder Force 4, and kind of gave me some old school 16-bit shooter vibes on there. So I'm definitely interested in picking that up once it does come out. Played a reboot of Snow Brothers, which was kind of cool, just to see.
That was pretty fun.
The old what game was that? Was that Nintendo?
It was on NES. Yeah, it was on NES. I played it at the arcade, so I guess there's another Snow Brothers reboot that's coming out pretty soon that it wasn't on the show floor, but yeah, it's literally like, it's like kind of Bubble Bobble-ish, where you're just dealing with one particular map on there, and then you're basically just like, basically throwing snow onto your enemies and rolling them around like a snowball basically throughout the level. So it's kind of cool to see that, and I know that's going to be available for Switch and other platforms, Steam on there. We also went to the I'm trying to think of the name of the company on there, but we played Rushing Beat X, the return of the Brawl Brothers on there. So.
Yeah, that was fun. That another game that kind of screamed Kev, because it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's at the City Connection booth, but basically City Connection, if you're not familiar, they have all basically the licenses for all the Jalico titles in the back catalog. So.
Oh, is this technically like a spiritual successor to what was that? It was that one beat 'em up by Jellicoe where you were the cop in the red uniform, and I was just about to say the name of it. Yeah, it must be, because I see that same. I'm looking at the trailer. It must be a sequel to that game. Yeah, I can't remember if it was called Rushing Beat.
Yeah,
I played it on the S. I played on the SNES back in the day, and all I remember
Brawl Brothers. Yeah.
Brawl Brother. Okay. Yeah, you had the brother in the red police uniform, and there was like a second dude. So I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I
Brawl
can see
Brothers
how
was a sequel to Rival Turf. So.
Rival Turf. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Gotta get that
I don't know
rival
why
turf.
they named them a bunch of different titles, but it was your typical generic like side-scrolling action game. So yeah, this is meant to be a sequel to that game. So it's kind of art style is crazy, but it is literally just like if someone decided to go ahead and we're going to create after the popularity of Streets of Rage 4 and other titles, they decide, okay, we're going to do a new one too. We got this franchise in our back catalog, so you're playing the same characters as in Rival Turf or Brawl Brothers, basically. So it's like if someone wanted to bring back, like, you know, bad dudes, or you know, or Tough Enough or something like that. So, but we played for a little bit. I felt it played decently. You're playing against zombies, you know, so it kind of had a little bit of a like Zombies Revenge vibe, like a 16-bit or more like a Dreamcast Sega kind of vibe a little bit. And I think this game would kind of be perfect on the Dreamcast if you could think about it in that particular style. So
It was fun.
Yeah. So that's a lot of what I played. I mean, we could have played a lot more. I know that, you know, as far as TGS is concerned, we only went on Thursday and Friday. We did not go on the public days. And even on the Friday, because of the fact that we went out for a concert, we went to go see Iron Maiden Thursday night, that we didn't get to the show floor until like about 12:30 on Friday. So we kind of missed the ball a little bit in the morning, but we needed to recover too. So I think we walked. Okay. I think for me personally, I think I walked like 19,000 steps on Thursday. So
wow, that's a lot of steps, man. But you guys, that was 3 halls, right?
3 halls, yeah, plus the auxiliary hall, which had a ton of indies, which we didn't even check out. And then obviously all the sales booths and whatnot, selling all the tchotchkes, T-shirts, mouse pads, you know, figures. There's a ton of figures there for sale too. So.
Okay. All right. Now you mentioned that did you guys go back for a public day? Any of the public days?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because that one, I guess that the guy that one of the gentlemen was sharing, the English speaking one was sharing the talking about the pitfalls of public days. So I was wondering what they were, if you had experienced any of them.
We thought about it. But to me, it's like, you know, if the show was like 15 minutes away, if it was like a short train ride away, it'd be something where I would be more willing to go there. But when we thought about, okay, we're going to like take an hour to go to the show and then wait in line for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then we saw like a X tweet or a tweet from someone from Shaq News. And they were just commenting the fact that they're on the show floor and they're trying to get to another booth that was just literally a hop, skip, and a jump away from where they're at. And they weren't able to even navigate into the crowd to make their way across. That they could not move.
Bad.
Yeah, they could not move. So
and then we saw pictures from above. And it was like this huge line, and that was just to get to like the Kojima area, and I was just like, yeah, I can't. I was like, I can't. You know, so instead of that, we went to Akihabara and we went shopping. And when I tell you we went shopping, we went shopping.
All right. Let's hear about it. It.
So when I go to Japan, I like to buy my games, you know. So I bought damn near 30.
Cleaned them out. You cleaned them out, huh?
Yeah, damn near 30 Switch games. Yeah.
Now, are you gonna play any of them?
Oh yeah. I play all. You know, I beat all of them. That's the difference. You know, so like I bought the Kimco collection. If you know what Kimco collection is, it's so Kimco. You know, they make these sort of budget RPGs, and they use RPG Maker for them. So they all kind of look the same, but they're all slightly different. But there are these really like cheesy budget stories that are just I don't know, like I just really enjoy them. I don't know why I enjoy them, but they're fun, and I have a couple that I bought on like on a sale on the eShop, Nintendo eShop, but I actually wanted them because I wanted them on the actual collection, because you get 4 of them on one cart, which is amazing value, and you can get them for like $20. So it's like $5 per game. So, and I'm like, hell yeah. So I went and I found them, and I bought the first one last time I was there. And I said, I'm going to buy the rest of them this time. So I was able to get all of them up to 7. There's 7 total, but I couldn't find 5, so I'm gonna have to import 5, which is fine. You got it. Yeah, you got to. It's okay. I got Ghost Trick finally. I got a couple of. No, I think it might have only about 25 games. I mean, I could go count them, but I don't want to get up and count them. So I did buy. I did buy. My fair share of Switch games and helped out the Japanese economy. So you're welcome, everybody. What else? And then I finally completed my Ultraman collection. So I buy the figures. So there are these SF figure arts by Bandai Namco, and they're these like really like hyper realistic kind of figures that they do for all of the Ultramen, and they did one for the Ultraman animation that came out on Netflix, and it's just a fantastic show. All 3 seasons are done. I watched them all, and it was just great. And so I was able to finish my collection. So that was great. And then I was able to finish my collection of the original 5 Ultra Brothers as well. So Ultraman Jack was the last one I needed. So I was like, yay! And then I bought the newest Ultraman Arc. His show is running right now, so I watch it. And I'm all caught up on my Ultraman, so I'm like super excited. So I'm like, yay! So for me, it was a banner day. So I went, got my comic. So I went and I bought my games. And I got some really cheap ones that I wanted a physical copy of. That I bought on the eShop. So for me, I was super excited. So Kev, sorry, Joe, excuse me, Joe, what are some of the games that you bought, sir?
I mainly concentrated on PS4 and PS5 games, so that's pretty much where I was angling for. I wasn't trying to get retro at all. So, I mean, my days of retro collecting. Probably, I mean, I love retro games, but at the same time, it's like I was just looking to see kind of unique games I could pick up for PS4, PS5 that I'm not able to buy elsewhere on here. So I picked up quite a few things. I think Yodobashi Camera, even though a lot of people kind of poo-poo them, I'm not going to.
I don't know why.
They kind of poo-poo them because everything's kind of retail price, but at the same time, it's like I was able to get everything I wanted there as well. And one of the things I wanted, it was still cheap, yeah. One of the things I wanted to grab was the collector's edition, the Super Deluxe edition for Contra Operation Galuga for PS5. I wanted to kind of pick up this game. I saw it was available at limited run earlier in the year, but I knew we were going back to Japan, so I specifically waited until then. But there's quite a few also indie titles that haven't really been released in the West yet that were available physically in Japan. And so I bought this game called Dustborn, which is released from Quantic Dream that I don't think I've seen retail on PS5. I picked up like Read Only Memories Nero Diver. I know you picked this one up for the Switch.
Yeah.
Picked up Schism. You picked it up for the Switch as well, Des. So, and then found some like used games too. Like I got SD Gundam Battle Alliance, Umbra Claw. I picked up a copy of The Last Guardian, which was in a nice like case on there, even though I already owned the game for PS4. I just felt like it was kind of cool to grab a collector's case for it. I picked up a cheap copy of the Crew Motorfest. You're gonna like throw boo at me, Kev, but it was like $15. So.
Well, you did pick up Dustborn, so I can't hold you on that. It's you're in for a treat with Dustborn. I'll just leave it at that.
You played Dustborn?
I have watched enough of it to know that it is not for me.
Oh wow!
I'll put it like that. And it is it is the Gordon Ramsay meal for the Chutosphere right now. So yeah, you're in for a treat.
Oh, is it it's like a DEI kind of thing?
Business? Oh yeah. You're in for a treat. I wasn't gonna buy it because it just mechanically it's just not me. I like killing stuff, and you kill stuff in the game, but the mechanics were very janky, and I was like, nah, I'm not here for that. But it had nothing to do with the characters or even the story kind of seemed kind of too. But yeah, you're in for a treat. I'll just put it that way, particularly if you look up other people's write-ups, reviews of the game. So yeah, you're in for a treat, sir. That's all I'll say.
Well, obviously, I didn't do my research, but
you didn't.
I just thought the character designs look cool and the art.
Yeah, but you will notice that all you've been seeing, you probably just saw stills. There's a reason. There is a reason for that, sir. And again, not coming from a woke, anti-woke point, it's just an ass game. I'm sorry.
Well, I got the deluxe edition with art book and all other stuff, so
Bro, that clerk let you walk out with that? They didn't.
You didn't care. You didn't care.
It's like, get it out of here. It's taking up valuable shelf space. Woo!
Damn, I didn't know. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. Let's see. I have some stickers, some postcards here, a map.
You've got glitches. You've got just ass mechanics. Yeah.
The comic looked pretty nice here. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, boy.
That's probably the best thing about the game, sir. That comic book is probably the best thing about the game.
Wow. There's some blonde chick with a guitar. Let's see.
Yeah. There's a trans.
The main protagonist.
There's a black woman who is apparently she is the new Mary because she's carrying some type of magical baby. And there is the cis dude who's half Hispanic and white. And then you have the robot that is trying to self-identify as a trans person some type of way. You're in for a treat, sir. But my opinion of the game has nothing to do with all that. It's just ass mechanically, from what I've seen.
I'm gonna play it and we'll talk about it next show, and maybe the naysayers will.
Yes, please,
because
please play it.
Yeah.
Now I gotta know. I gotta know.
Been getting death threats from the chuds. It's oh man, it's
wow.
It's a whole thing, sir. It is a whole thing.
I also picked up a few I picked up Ikaruga for PS4, so it was like a 10,000 yen. I got the collector's edition for that, so I'm looking at it now. It comes with an actual metal model of the Ikaruga ship
for PS4.
Yeah.
I've got Radiant Silver Gun for the Switch. Dang.
Yeah, I have your other copy you asked me to grab.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't even think about checking for Ikaruga.
I bought Dustborn, but I did not buy myself a copy of Lollipop Chainsaw. So maybe you could quantify me as someone of a questionable nature, I guess.
Hey, if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know.
He's like, sorry, sir. If you don't know, you don't know. Wow.
Hey, it looked good to me. It looked good to me.
I can't wait. Like play it, Joe. Let me know. So
Yeah.
I need to know
Yeah,
now.
I will play. Yes, I also picked up a game called Rusted Moss from Playism, so it looked kind of cool, and I got all sorts of doodads with it. So, as far as any retro stuff,
Real quick, another thing you have to realize, Kev, is a lot of this stuff, like they have like I don't know what it is, but they have like what's it called, collector's editions and extra stuff for all these games. Like it's crazy how much like extra stuff I got. Like Wargroove 1 and 2 came with the CD, and Neurodriver came with the CD, and this other thing came with something else. And I was just like, damn, like they literally just like give you tons of stuff with these games. It's crazy. So
that is probably a good thing I didn't know about all that.
Yeah. Probably not.
Trying to snack a pro. It's like I can't be getting all that stuff.
Oh yeah, and poor Joe, couldn't even
over here with Dustborn.
Wow.
I'm sorry, bro. I cannot wait to hear what you think about it. That needs to be your Gaming Vessels gaming assignment.
I didn't know. I had no clue. So, but pretty much our shopping was all in all just pretty good. I mean, I did pick up a couple of retro things. I picked up like the PS1 Japanese version of Jade Cocoon, that old RPG. I just felt like the art on it was excellent. It was like 500 yen, so it's not like, basically it was like 350. It was 350, so it's like, I could look at that, Studio Ghibli artwork on that game, and I know that they kind of brutalized it when they released it in the U.S. as far as not featuring a lot of the Ghibli work, so I just felt like it would be nice just to have in my collection. And so pretty much I did make one attempt to go to a hard off out after we left Monodrake on here, and that
you went
was
to the last Diddy party.
No, I did not go to the last Diddy party. The hard off is
I'm sorry.
Basically
I mean, it's funny though.
hardware line of stores related to Book Off. So
yeah, I know.
No Diddy parties in Japan. Even though I know Kanye was in Japan the same time we were, I guess. So we could have run across Kanye, I guess.
So you have to understand, Joe loves various different hard offs and book offs, and so he likes to drag me around the city.
Just as long as there's no freak offs, that's what's
no
important.
freak offs, no
All
freak
right,
offs,
good,
definitely
good.
no freak offs. But yeah,
a couple
Joe
of stores
loves...
in Akihabara we went to was really nice. Beep, basically it's like a retro store, but they are really hyper focused on keeping prices low and not marking up shit. And they had all sorts of cool, like that's where we bought your Radiant Silver gun, but they had lots of like stickers and a kind of curated, like, they didn't have like the full volume of titles per se, but the stuff that they had was good and it was cheaper than they didn't have that like Gaijin Akihabara tourist markup on here. Like Des,
that was cool.
We went to like Super Potato and I went inside, but Des stayed outside because that Super Potato is always like claustrophobic as hell. And I was looking for some like cheaper gems, like some games we played back in the day, like Fighter's Impact. That was the one game I was looking for, because your power of your chi is 10.
So is 10.
Yeah, I was looking for like older like PS1 games I had an affinity towards back in the day that I only knew about because we bought them on got those HK like bootlegs from Hong Kong back in the day, and I'd love to grab like actual legit copies of some of these games we played on there. So, but
Rev your cheese 10. Damn you, Joe.
Don't you remember that? That game was awesome, man.
Hell yeah, I remember that game. That game was hell yeah.
I saw like Bloody Roar 2. I'd probably pick those up too, even though I know that some people love those games. So,
Bloody Roar was awesome. The first one.
Yeah, I saw the first JoJo's for PS1. And I didn't pick it up. It was like only like about maybe $20. So.
Yeah, Joe had us running around. So he had us going to various different places, and they were broke. Like he took us to this one place, and it didn't have nothing in it. Had us in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, okay, I guess this is.
I made my bet and I lost. Unfortunately, I should have went to a book off instead. So.
No, but
I think a book off would have been better. So. But
it was fun.
Yeah, at certain times I did go out while Des was like chilling in the crib too. So I went back to the Yodobashi camera on there, made a run because we're so close. So
run for the camera.
He did. Like Joe was like, I gotta go back, man. I gotta go back. And I'm like, all right, sir, it's fine. It's cool. I ain't gonna stop you.
Got you on a first name basis that one night, huh? You went there so many times. Oh, Joe's back. Hey.
You know what? They probably could have. You know.
Hey, that's awesome though.
We did go to a manga museum as well. I don't know, Des, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
No, you should talk about it because you're the one that came up with it. I had no idea about it. And then like he was like, hey, check this out. And I was like, whoa. But yeah, go ahead and talk about it, Joe, because like again, I didn't know about it. Joe was the one that was I kind of let Joe steer us during this trip. So yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, well, we went to this exhibit. It was called Capcom versus Osamu Tezuka on here. So it was at the Osamu Tezuka Manga Museum on here. So, and basically the purpose of the museum is this was basically back in the 50s. Osamu Tezuka and his group basically is the one that created like Astro Boy and also the White Lion, Kimba the White Lion on there and other things. So the museum was kind of dedicated to their like kind of group of manga artists from back in the 50s because they basically stayed in this one building and were just like from room to room just living here and crafting manga, you know, back in the day.
Yep, day in, day out. It was crazy.
Yeah, so this museum is kind of dedicated towards him and his other peers as far as their group of manga creation from back in the 50s and 60s on here. And so kind of gave you an idea from room to room as far as what they did in each room, you know, what they
were busting ass getting those panels done. That's what they were doing.
They certainly were. It was crazy to look at where they were, and it was like all the various different rooms that they were doing, and they basically like the rooms were so small, and they like the communal bathrooms, and like I was just like, damn,
that's almost like being in a college dorm.
Yep.
Except maybe a little worse. Hey, is there any truth to Mega Man being based off Astro Boy?
I can see it. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. Was that addressed at the museum display? Okay.
No,
I always kind of thought that.
I mean, it makes sense though.
They had a theme where it was basically some Capcom cutouts that they put in the regular manga museum. So instead of in the room, you'd have like a cutout of Ryu or some rival school characters. There's a lot of rival school love.
They love rival schools.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what was going on with that, but they loved rival schools. Like, there was a bunch of rival school stuff. But they had basically paired up various different characters from Capcom, from Capcom and the other characters like Astro Boy. There's one called like what is it? Rainbow Parakeet was another character, and Blackjack.
Yeah.
So
Buddha.
So yeah, it was a great little whatchamacallit, a great little museum. I really wish we could have went to the other ones, but it started raining, and so we really weren't able to go to any of the other ones that were around because I would have melted. Because there was I guess what it was in the area where they lived, they had various other places that they would go to. So they had this was like the manga route, and they had they used to go over here, which was to this cafe, or they used to go over here, which was an area that they used to study in. And then there's a whole bunch of other museums around. And now that I think about it in retrospect, I really should have forced myself to stay and look around, because one of my favorite artists, who did I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but he did Cyborg 009, and I also think he did what's his name, Common Writer, although I could be wrong. But anyway, all that suffice to say that they were doing an art exhibit for him as well, and it was pretty close to where we were, and I was just like, damn it, had I looked at all of the stuff that we got, I might have been able to see that exhibit as well. So again, in retrospect, being 2020, I'd have been like, damn it, I probably would have stayed and got that or hung out or something. So
was any of the manga for sale at the museum, or was it okay?
No. Yeah, they had all sorts of old manga. They had some Capcom games of various. They had some really minty,
that was cool.
Minty old boxes of even American, European pressings of certain games. Like they had a European pressing of Project Justice for one, and all this other stuff. So, and then they had a separate museum room set up for the Capcom section where they allowed no photographs whatsoever, and so I did sneak in one photograph before them running and telling me no photos, because we went through the Capcom exhibit backwards, and so I didn't see the no photos sign if need be. But that was excellent, because there was even pencil art of some Capcom characters, as they were being created from certain titles, including Street Fighter, Rival Schools, and what Des alluded to, there was some original art that was created that had some of the Tezuka characters versus Capcom characters that were similar in style on there. So
I can see why they wouldn't want flashes going off all the time with that original work.
Yeah,
it was great.
But both of us grabbed some stuff. I grabbed some prints from the exhibit, so I'll probably get those framed and hung up here just to kind of remind me of my time going to the museum. So I felt like it was. And I follow, if you know who Markman is, the commentator for Tekken. This is how I found out about it, because I follow his Twitter, and I guess he went out to the exhibit and found out about it, because otherwise I wouldn't have known about it. And I looked it up and saw it was a free admission, so it's okay.
Now, is that going to be a permanent display, or is that temporary?
It's temporary.
Okay.
Yeah. It was only available for a certain amount of time. So unless you want to go right now, Kev, and get on the plane and go out there.
No, I'm getting ready to go on my anniversary trip. So ain't no extras for that. But yeah, that sounds like it was awesome.
It was. The whole trip itself was great. We spent money, played games. I don't think I need to go to Japan for a while after this, but definitely had a great time, and I'm really glad that Joe talked me into it. And if you want to see a list, what was that?
Iron Maiden was good too. So
yeah, Iron Maiden was actually really good. So I was very I wasn't against it, because I'm open to new experiences, but at first I was just well, this is probably just gonna be okay, But actually, they put on a really good show, and I'm happy that I went. So I was like,
how do metal attendees behave in Japan as opposed to here in the States? Because I've never been to a metal concert.
They are a lot more into it. I'll tell you that much. They were like hopping and jumping around, singing in English. I was like, go ahead, y'all, go ahead. I was just like, damn. And they were just having like this one guy next to me was just like, he was just singing and dancing. Like, I was just like, oh shit, all right, go guy, go, knock him out. So, and they were like all the call-in response that the main guy was doing. They were there with it. They were singing along, and so I guess they hadn't been in Japan since 2016. So there was a lot of pent up Japanese, like, we gotta go, we gotta play, so we gotta enjoy. So, but it was great show. I definitely will think
I've ever heard an Iron Maiden song before. Not that I'm that big into metal, but I've never even heard a song of theirs before. But
definitely worth
okay.
Cool. How did you think the food was, Des? I rolled him over to Caesarea. I don't know how you felt about that.
I mean, Caesarea itself was kind of silly. So if you don't know what Caesarea is like the fifth largest Japanese chain, and it is it's an Italian restaurant. It is Japanese version of Italian food, and
that could be great or that could be horrible.
It was something
in between, leading more toward the horrible side.
I mean, it was something. I can't say it was good or bad. It was something.
It scratched that itch. Come on.
Food.
You were hungry.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
What?
It scratched that itch for you.
You were hungry? I was hungry too. Come on.
I mean, it was something. It was something, but the cool thing about it was a robot brought our food, so that was fun.
Oh Lord! So we make up for our bad food by having a robot bring it to us.
It was not bad food.
Joe,
I'm posting it right now on the Discord.
Some contradictories here, sir.
Joe.
All I'm saying.
Look at that. Go look in the Discord right now.
It was just okay. That's all I can say is it was just okay. Could have been better, definitely. Was it better? No.
Look at all that food we got for 2,000 yen. Look in the Discord.
I mean, I won't lie to you. The value was there. Like the value was the bomb.
That's like a couple steps down from Olive Garden. from a view.
Oh damn!
I think it was better than Olive Garden. So.
No. Who are you, sir? Better than Olive? What?
Yep.
That's not a high bar, though, bro. Olive Garden is not a high bar.
I can't get potatoes at Olive Garden. Come on.
Oh my God.
Carbonara with an egg. Come on.
I don't know.
Had a free drink bar. You can get all the free drinks you want.
I have to. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So it sounds like a flag is being called on the play.
It was serviceable for what we got at the end of the day. I will say that.
At least I didn't blow your ass up like that Korean chicken. So.
Ooh, that Korean chicken was. I mean, it was good, but it tore me up. That Korean chicken was no joke. So we had this. It was Korean chicken, and it was just like, ooh. It was like, oh, why you gotta do me like this? Yeah. But
sounds like that 7-Eleven chicken I tried that one time. That one time and only time.
It was interesting. That's all I can say is it was interesting. So.
That's a good ramen, though.
Yeah, the ramen was great. Like we went to this ramen place that was right down the street from our from our place. It was actually a mistake because I was trying to get to someplace else, and we went and it was actually pretty damn good. I had this, cold ramen and the mixture with the meat together, like just a huge portion, and it was just really good, And another thing
the
about
ramen in Akihabara was nice too. So
yeah, the ramen Akihabara was nice. The one thing about that I really like about Japan as well is a lot of times folks is like super nice. Like they don't need to be like they're not assholes. So I'm like, oh cool, thanks. Like they're very helpful. They're just when I was having problem because a lot of the stuff in Japan is done by machines, meaning you order by a machine and you can press English and you can order what you want. And I was having a hard time with the machine, and like they came over and they were like, "Oh hi, how can I help you?" Like and they spoke pretty good English, and I was trying to talk to them, and I asked them, "What do you suggest?" And then he was like, "Well, hot or cold," because they served hot and cold ramen, and I said hot. No, so I said cold, and he's like, "I'd suggest this," and I was like, "Okay," so I tried it, fantastic. And he asked Joe, "What do you, cold or hot?" And he was like, "Hot." And so he said, "Probably this." And the portions were good, and it was great. It's funny because you go to a restaurant in America and you're bombarded with all these different options, where in Japan it's very specialized in what they do, and you there's only maybe like it's like we serve ramen and we serve these types of ramen, we serve tonkatsu, and this is the type of tonkatsu we have. It's just very specific, and I like that. It's just very uncomplicated. So I don't know. I really enjoy my time in Japan, and I cannot wait to go again. So.
Oh, I forgot to mention too. I did see Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond in the flesh.
Oh,
so.
He did. Yes. I forgot about that. He did get to see them. And
I wish I got a better picture because I was hanging out after I left the Dynasty Warriors Origins booth on there, but they're demoing and looking at the game and taking pictures at the Lubu, standee on here.
Mm-hmm.
Lubu's more manly than Phil, but
Did you get an autograph?
I did not get an autograph or anything like that. So.
You got a picture of his hair.
I got a picture of his hair. Yes, I should have maybe waited to get a picture with them and go, "Konnichiwa, my friends."
Phil des.
Yeah, but Phil was there. What was the thing? I guess someone handed him a PlayStation controller, and he said the B button is in the wrong.
The X button was in the wrong place. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I guess people gave him shit online about it because it's the cross button, not the X button. And I'm just like, this man is a dad. He did dad jokes. Come on. Like, I know we give Xbox and Phil shit on this show, but come on now. Like, y'all need to just calm it down. I'm sure he has a PlayStation 5 at home. So there. Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
They're paying the bills.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm done. Japan is in the books. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I do think that if you haven't been to Japan, you should go. It's great. If you want a list of the Switch games that I bought, I can post it if you want to know. I did buy a lot. I did go crazy, and it really made me believe that if I'm going to collect for Switch, I'm looking at my collection right now. I need to create a spreadsheet or something, because like it got to the point where I was like, did I already buy this? I'm like, I need to stop that. So yeah, but that's where I am.
All right, Jabroni Chief. Any last comments regarding your trip to Tokyo Game Show or Japan in general?
Just like that as usual. I think TGS as an event, I'd like the opportunity to maybe dive into it more. Kind of regret not going to a couple of booths, like we didn't make it to the level 5 booth, plays and booth. I wanted to do demo of Fantasian. I didn't get in line to grab that since the line was too long. And I know you were curious about Monster Hunter, so I mean, if I do make another trip, I'd probably stay more towards where TGS is at in that particular area in Chiba, and maybe make it more about TGS, and maybe go, if we're able to get back on a press junket, maybe to go like 3 out of the 4 days and to be closer that way. We could get to the show floor quicker and so on and so forth. So I think it's definitely doable again, possibly, So whether I go by myself or, we'll see what comes about on this. So.
All right. So, well, that is going to wrap up our Tokyo Game Show coverage for this episode. I know we've got a hard stop coming up pretty soon. I'm just going to leave it up to you two hosts as to whether or not you want to continue forward, or I can wrap it up right here.
Let's wrap it up right here, my friends.
Yeah.
All righty. So what you have heard, folks, is the Tokyo Game Show for 2024 wrap up done by Dez and Jabroni Chief. So I'm happy you guys got a chance to go. A little bit jelly, a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, a little jelly.
You really should go. I think you would really enjoy it in Japan. Just in general, I think you'd really enjoy it in Japan.
But yeah, I'm glad you guys had the opportunity to go. So back to our standard format next week. So for Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Lover,
That's me,
aka the Cat Daddy, aka that gamer stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, aka Digadulamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And we'll be back next time, episode 261 for your ears. Peace.
Sayonara.
I'm still cutting that out.